No, it's taking a video. Hello, my name is Alma Dóra Ríkarðsdóttir and I'm taking the Managerial Coaching Certificate class at Hult International Business School. This is my first coaching session with Max Abel.
Hi, that's me. I am Max from Germany.
So, just to start with, Max, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good.
Oh yeah?
Great day, yes. All the meetings support.
That's great, that's great. How has this week been for you?
It has been a really tough week with a lot of things. But yeah, since the week is going to proceed anyway.
Just so you know about it, we are recording this, obviously, and I will be uploading on YouTube. Is this okay with you?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. All right. You don't mind if I write some things down?
No, I don't.
Perfect. All right. So, do you remember us doing the Hult DNA?
Yes, I do.
Module
Yes.
A. Perfect. So we're going to be pretty much focusing on this. Now, if you think back at your Hult DNA, is there anything that sticks out? Anything that you would like to work on particularly?
Yes, it is. So basically, we were thinking about thinking, communication, about team building, and team building was something that really stood out to me because team building is something that I can improve in still. I know that I have a lot of empathy and I know that I understand people well, but the thing is, like, I need to know how I can use it in order for the team to be beneficial at all.
How do you think you could apply this development to this upcoming week?
To this upcoming week, like, we had a lot of meetings, right, with our team this week, and I guess it is important to sometimes just take over the overview and try to direct people in the way that they be beneficial for the team as well. And also it's important that, how can I mention that? It is also important that, like, everyone really needs to feel comfortable while doing and having these team sessions, because only if everyone's feeling comfortable, we can reach the best outcomes for the team.
If you would have to put that down to like a single action that you could do in this week, like a goal or an aim, what would you say this would be? Thinking just short term, just this week.
I would say like just an action.
An action, or like, yeah, a sort of, yeah, goal. So as I understand it, we've been working together quite closely for this week, and you're leaving for Germany today.
Yes.
If you think about it in this context, is there anything that you could do with regards to team building when you think about this week?
Yes, I mean, we could actually, before I leave, we could actually have a coffee and like just reflect the week. I've been working so far, and if we achieved the things that we wanted to achieve. So like, and then also that's actually a goal of mine, is like just leave the team in like a really good mood. That's personally important to me because when I go back and sit at the airplane, there's a lot of time of reflection, and like in this time I want to be happy and want to have a good feeling, and then like looking back at the time and then yeah.
Okay. So how will you have known that you would have reached this goal? How do you know that your team is going to be left satisfied when you leave?
Honestly, I guess it's a stomach feeling at the end of the day.
Okay.
So it is something that I just have to feel. I guess there's no metric that you could measure on. It's just how I perceive the people and the general mood between our team. And then when I leave, I have like this certain feeling that gives me security if I feel good about it or not.
So in order to get this feeling, are there any actions that you can do? Like what kind of actions can you do to
in order to find out which feeling I have?
Or like, is this some actions that you could take, like, I don't know, in regards to your team? Is there anything that you can strive to do?
I guess, so I guess there's like not a certain action on that. But if I could do something, then I would probably share my feelings in the very first moment and just tell that I'm happy with the process or I'm not happy, whatever it is, and then like just clarify the things that need to be clarified, and then I guess then you can see like on the reaction of the people if it is like successful, if it has been successful or not. So like I could kind of take a review session onto it. That's something I would take, but just in order to get the reaction of the other people and get this feeling. I guess it is kind of an overall feeling that just appears or not, because it's not only about the action today, it's also about the whole last week that passed. So I don't know if there's like any certain thing that influences this to the end. Yeah, it is like probably the same feeling as I had yesterday or the day before, and like just developed.
Could you tell me how this feeling is maybe different from the feelings that you're having right now, in this current moment?
Yeah, I can, because like right now it's just like the thinking about how I could influence that, and because the day isn't over yet, so I can't really be sure about the feeling that will have in like 3 hours. So it's like kind of this time difference. So it's like right before my action in order to find out.
Um, and how, if you think about the past, how have you been effective in, I don't know, making these expectations or these feelings? Like, if you think about past scenarios, how have you made sure that this is achieved in the past?
This is a funny question, because like usually I guess you don't think about it. Like you don't think, you are not aware of like what was the that's actually the only thing. Like the expectations that I had, and then in the end it is over. So did I always try to match like the expectations I had before meet with everything that happened so far. So the question is then, am I disappointed or not, and am I happy or not with it? So both of the things. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And in order to meet these expectations this time around, what do you think you can do? Which options do you have?
In order to meet the expectations?
Yeah.
Like for now, I guess it's a bit too late to think about that. I should have thought about that in the very beginning, honestly, because then you can actually do some actions in order to meet the expectations. But for now, like for my personal opinion, I think it's not an action specifically that changes the next 3 hours, like on my whole expectations. The only thing I can do is like finding out if it meets my expectations or not.
So if you think about moving forward, reflecting on this scenario right now, what would you maybe do differently?
I would probably, like, because all the questions, I guess you have to think about the answers and all this stuff. And like right now, thinking about it makes me feel insecure, because like I haven't thought about this in the very beginning. So next time I'll probably write down my expectations. I guess that's a really good thing, and like just on paper, and at the end of the week, without like consciously changing it, I would probably at the end of the week like see, did this meet my expectations, and if not, why not, and where not. Like, is it something that I could change next time or not?
So we could maybe set this as a goal for your week this week, that you would do this?
Yeah, probably.
That could be your goal? Okay. How confident are you that you could actually achieve that? That is something?
I guess the more you think about it, the more confident I get about this, because then you actually change something. And this is really a thing about self-awareness then, I guess, because you think about certain steps and you influence the actions that you're going to take. If you're not aware about this, you're not going to change.
Okay, perfect. So, all right. Are there any ways that you can keep yourself accountable for this goal of yours? Maybe your friends or your team members?
Yeah, I mean, probably yes. But I guess it's again like it's really hard to measure that. Like accountable is always like this word with measurements and metrics, and I guess it's like in the end again this feeling that you have, if it's like, and it is a gut feeling that comes. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Then I think we're good. Thank you so much, Max. This was really great, and have a good trip to Germany.
Thank you.
is Cristina and Cristina Burcescu, and I'm here to give feedback for Alma Dóra on her first coaching session with Max. My feedback on the opening of the conversation, there was a great connection achieved due to Alma asking about Max's week and how is he feeling. So that was a very nicely open question that gave Max the opportunity to open up about his week and about his, despite it being quite full and stressful, he was excited to have that conversation and initiate opening up about more that happened to him. In regards to whether he's remembering the Hult DNA, that was a closed question, but nevertheless, it was a positive outcome. Max is remembering the Hult DNA, and for him it was about communication and team building, and for him had a lot to do with empathy and how he's being aware of how he's giving empathy to his team members. So this is a question on that where Alma is trying to reach to a goal that Max may have yet clear to himself about how he wants to follow through the goal that the Hult DNA is related to, that his intentions from the Hult DNA was related to. He knows a lot he's sharing a lot about his current reality, like how he's using empathy in team building, and he wants to make that better for himself and his team. He wants to bring it to the present by by making people feel comfortable around him. So this is Alma is asking about a short-term action that he might be interested in taking into achieving that Hult DNA goal. That's again a good summary. Alma did a great job in summarizing this, the way that Max shared his intention to achieve that goal based on her previous work with him. So that was a good job. She's also asked him, so how does he know when he's done a good job? So he knows it just by looking back and by just a gut feeling, which is quite a difficult way to quantify. So that's why Alma is going deeper with a question: how does he know that he's reached the goal? And that's a kind of a way forward question, and it's impacting the result that he's trying to give. Max is still giving a feedback based on feelings. He wants to perceive people's mood in the team and assessing by from that onwards, but he's still not coming out with a real goal, and there is a little bit of a closeness of the closed question in how does he know if he's reached the goal or not. But nevertheless, they go forward with this subject, and because he's becoming a little bit repetitive in what he's sharing. He keeps mentioning feelings, that he was check with himself if it's successful, and just an overall feeling. So again, nothing really quantifiable that he can really get used to get himself committed to achieving a goal. And further on, Alma makes it easy for Max to understand what is the difference between what's happening now and what he could do better. So current reality and way forward. And she's doing this by asking him a question: how would the feeling be different than now? That feeling. So she's comparing current feeling to future feeling. Another open question, which is very good, was tell me how you did on past scenarios, how similar situations, how did you deal with similar issues? And this way Max came with a solution for himself. He said, by matching expectations to the current events. So he's assessing whether he can be happy with the outcome based on his expectation. So although he recognizes that it's quite late to do this in this current moment for his current week, he's aiming to proceed as a way forward just by writing down his expectations, therefore narrowing down this goal, being more self-aware of what are the expectations, and move forward by keeping himself accountable.